And one of the biggest things that I see when I have clients who are in that state of life bump that's throwing their business off is that it's really easy for them to lose their mojo. It's really easy to spiral down. It's really easy to start thinking, I just give up now. And there's a level of frustration as well, because sometimes there's things that we genuinely want to be doing in our business.
You're watching the Stable Business Podcast. I'm your host, Jenni Bush, and I'm here to chat all things equine business with a new episode every week from me or the best in the biz. Now, before we get started, hit the subscribe button and don't forget to click the bell to be notified when a new episode drops.
The last couple of weeks have been a real challenge for me in my business and in my life, because I got hit with COVID. That then set off my malady department syndrome. And so life has just not been normal, and none of us are immune from life. And it's a really, really important point. So today I want to talk to you about how to make sure that actually your business is set up and your model is set up in your business so that it works even when you can't. So there are a few key things that I think are really, really important, because there's nothing worse than having a stint of sickness or some grief in the family, or moments when just life takes you by surprise and you have to change gear. And sometimes it's really, really difficult, because it can be a very frustrating thing for us as business owners, because we've often got things in the pipeline, things that we want to do, things that matter to us, and suddenly we're not able to do that. So I want to talk a little bit about what I do in those situations, because at the moment it's been 3 weeks, and yesterday was the first day that I actually managed to sit in this chair for longer than 10 minutes. So we'll see how today goes. Fingers crossed. I've got some calls booked with clients and I'm slowly getting myself there, but I'm still not at my normal level, because at the end of the day, we've only got so much energy that we can put into these things. So I want to talk about what I feel is really, really essential to make sure that you have proofed your business and you are okay when life hits you, and how to make sure that you can actually put things in place so that you can still get some money in, so that you don't suddenly go, oh my goodness, I'm not working, I've got no money, I'm ill, and then have difficulty trying to get yourself back into work mode, because there's nothing worse than when you're having to work slowly and you can't work at that normal level. So I want to talk about some things that I've got in place that meant the last 3 weeks I have still been able to cope in terms of financial. I've been able to feed my family, I've been able to pay for things, and it's helped me massively so that I'm actually able to get back in gear without going, I need to now work from a place of hustle because I've got no money. So how do we do that? So the first thing that I want to talk about is always have what I call SOPs, or standard operating procedures. It's not my term, it's a common term. But this is like operating procedures where everything is written down. And I talk about this in the Stable Foundations Hub and Stable Foundations Hub Plus. And there's a tool that I use with my clients that I call the transition track, that helps you to set all those things up. But these are just making sure that everything that you do in your business is documented. It helps you to be more methodical. It helps you to make sure that you can pass it over. So if you're thinking, I need a VA, I need to have staff members, actually, when you've got these SOPs, it makes life so much easier. So even from that respect, it really, really helps. But as part of that, like, have your daily minimum things that you need, like the things that you absolutely must do in your business, the things that have to happen. And also make sure that in the event of a real emergency, you've got a backup plan, in that somebody knows where to find it. It's easy to get, like, it's easy for you to share it. So when you can't do a lot, you can go to somebody, can you implement this? So that could be a trusted person, a family member, virtual assistant, colleague, whoever you can pass it on to. But when you've got that as part of your SOPs, and like in the event of sickness or emergency, and I've got one that I call in the event of sickness and emergency, it actually even has what to say. So I've done templates, and I've spoken about this before, but I've done templates on what I would say, so you can literally copy, paste, and just tweak and edit if you need to. I'm going to have to pause this now. None of us are immune. That was the postman delivering a parcel from next door. So you've got those documented procedures, standard operating procedures, emergency backup plan, so that you've got that in place. And I always keep them, like mine tend to be on Google Docs, just because it means that I could log in from any computer. Even if I'm not at home, I could log into my Google account and I could find that quite easily and pass it on wherever I am. All I need is access to the internet and able to log into my Google account. So that makes a massive difference. You need to make sure that these are places where you can access them. So think about that. Like if it's just on a Word document and it's saved to your files and it's not in a cloud format or anywhere that you can access it, but yeah, is that going to matter? It might not matter to you and your business, but just think about it. So the second thing that I want to talk about, once you've got your standard operating procedures, and again, making sure like what are the absolute essentials, what are the minimum things that you must do in your business. And so once they're done, you can rest. Then to make sure that you have got financial supports, like financial safety net or an income plan or whatever, because we have to address the financial side of things. It's been 3 weeks since I did any work, which not really ideal, especially seeing I run memberships and I support my clients in different ways. But could do. My clients are very understanding. They know that this was not something that's normal for me, but I put in alternatives. So I said, look, I can't show up live because I'm just not well enough to sit at my desk or anything like that. But what I will do is you can email me and I can answer messages, I can answer texts, and I put in a different way of giving people support. So yeah, so the financial side of things. How do you make sure that you could take a month off if you needed to, so that you can be there for people? Because this really matters. And I was talking to somebody today about and they were saying about how they were struggling to work with their coaches because their coaches were basically saying, oh yeah, just hop on a plane and go and do this and don't just do it. And so I've got children, this doesn't work for me. And it was really, really important to me when I set up my business. The whole part of my why was mainly so I could actually be there for my children. They're only small ones. You know, they're now grown. They're 19 and 16 and one's moved out this week. And, you know, I don't get that time back. You won't get that time back. So making sure that actually you've got that support in your business financially, that you could go, do you know what, I need to be a good family member here. I need to support my mum. I need to support my dad. I need to support somebody. And being able to take that time really, really helps. So how do you make sure you've got that financial safety net in place? Now, it does depend on your business model. And I'm not here to tell you like what your business model should be. But of course, one of the most obvious ways is to make sure that you've got recurring income, and your income, you can forecast things. But some of you can't do that. Like you can't always do that. But if you've got perhaps clients that you could say, could we put you onto a monthly retainer? That would help to keep that money flowing. Other things you can do, and I'm sorry if you see me looking down, I'm just checking my notes because I've written out some things. So other things that you could do is to make sure that you're budgeting for it almost all the time. And I talk about this if you've ever looked at Profit First. If you haven't read Profit First, go read Profit First by Mike. I don't know, call him Mike Motorbike, Mike McCallowicz or something like that. Nobody can say so now. Go and check that out. But you can split your income. And so, yeah, what I do is every piece, and it's hard when you're getting money sporadically coming, because especially if you're self-employed, that's often the way that it works. But what you can do is you can split it into pots. So you've got a pot for your wages, a pot for future, a pot for savings, a pot for tax and whatever. And that way you're not sort of stumped with a big bill at the end of the year and not having any money for it. And I do this regularly. I have what I call a cash in pot calculator, pot split, where literally I put the amount of money that I've got in and it tells me the percentage of what to put into each thing and how much to transfer my money into each pot. And that makes a big difference. So you can have that emergency fund so that you've actually got some money to cover you during those tough times. You may also find that depending on where you live and your government might have some support there. Most of you who are self-employed here in the UK aren't able to claim like statutory sick pay, which you would get normally if you were working for an employer. But if it's bad, it may be worth checking out the government website. You might be entitled to. There is an employment support package that you might be able to get, but don't quote me on that. Go and have a look and see if that is there for you. But ideally, if you can get in a position where you've got that safety net, do you know what, that's a brilliant thing to have, and it's a great place to be when it comes to building your business. So go and check out Profit factor it in so that actually you know that you've got a little bit of a buffer for those times. And if you make sure that you've got at least a month's worth of wages in a pot, oh my goodness, won't that change things? Excuse me. Okay, so the next thing I want to talk about is the mindset, because actually having mindset support really matters at this time, because how you think about things can really affect everything. And one of the biggest things that I see when I have clients who are in that state of a life bump that's throwing their business off is that it's really easy for them to lose their mojo. It's really easy to spiral down. It's really easy to start thinking, I just give up now. And there's a level of frustration as well, because sometimes there's things that we genuinely want to be doing in our business. We want to be out there, we want to be doing, we want to be serving, but we can't for some reason, whether that's life events, whether it's physically. Like now, I'm still physically not able to even poop pick my horse's field without having to take a break. And then it's frustrating. It's really, really frustrating. But again, in order to get over that, we need to make sure that we are mindset aware and we are allowing ourselves some grace at this period. So whatever you can do to help you with your mindset during these times. So again, just focusing on the positives, that you're doing the right thing can even be a good plan. It might be looking at doing some meditations. It might be actually just journaling it out and going, even though this is how I feel, I'm going to, just get it all out. Just have a good whinge on your notepad. Nobody's going to come back to you. But make sure that you've got that, because otherwise it's really easy to spiral. And if you allow your mindset to spiral at this time too, it's really, really going to affect how you can actually bounce back in your business when you finally can do some work. So do that. Get some support if you need to. Talk it out. Maybe try EFT. EFT is a great tool that I use a lot, which involves like tapping, and you tap on different meridian points. So you often go on the top of the head, side the eyebrow here, and you just talk yourself through everything as you go through, and that could really help to clear that energy and that frustration to help you to make that mindset shift. Because we are going to have moments of frustration. We are going to have times when we're just like, this isn't fair. That's normal, but don't stay there. Don't stay there. So that's my main talking points. I mean, other things that might help you is just looking at how you manage your time. And again, at this point, like I've often said that my calendar is boss. I run off the calendar. And even now, I am still yet to get back to working off my calendar, because I cannot work at that level. So being aware of how you can manage your time during those tricky periods, trying to think of, okay, right, this is the amount of energy I've genuinely got at the moment, and this is what I can do. So even it's like, right, okay, if I've only got 30 minutes today, what's the most important thing to my business? Do that, then go and get the rest, or whatever you need. Go and be there for the people in your life, because that is what matters. And we should be building a business that supports our life. You're not building a business for that to be everything. The whole purpose of this business is to give you the freedom. So this is a great opportunity actually as well to build that business that gives you some freedom. You can test it. So you think about that, and even just reframing that in your mindset. This is a really good test for me. Like, what would I do? What would I change? What can I improve? And again, making sure that you've got some simple systems in place, making sure that you've got the technology to make life easy. So one of the things that you can have is make sure you've got your email list set up so you can actually message everybody really quickly. Make sure that you know how to set up your auto reply to let people know that you're ill, maybe to schedule out some posts in advance so it gives you some time. And I did that. Luckily, my husband got COVID first, and then I knew that it was probably going to be inevitable that I was going to get it, and I started to feel really rough. So I quickly got the food shopping, because I knew I'd going to be at least a week, possibly not doing anything. I scheduled some things. I scheduled some emails over the weekend, and I actually made some more money than I would have done. So it was an opportunity. So think about how you can do that. I hope that this is a useful episode. Do let me know if you've got any questions. Ask away. You know where to find me. You can find me on Facebook at Equine Business Assistant, or Instagram. You can also head to jennibush.com and send me an email. I would love to know your thoughts if you found this useful. And of course, if you've got any questions, let me know and I'll be sure to answer them. Or head to the Equine Business Support Network, where of course I'm happy to continue the conversation. I will see you soon. Thanks for listening.